Boy, I know I've been doing ride sharing for like 3 years, and it seems to be getting worse. I don't know if it's just me, but it just seems like things have gotten a lot worse. Man, really need to talk to someone about this. It's a shame that the next passenger doesn't do ride share.
Hi.
Okay, that works. Hello everyone, this is Kevin the Entrepreneur, and this is Cecily from Drive Girl Drive.
Hey there.
And has ride share gotten worse? Well, of course it has. Oh shoot, I just gave away the ending. Oh well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it anyway.
Okay.
So I was reading the rideshare guy, so heads up to Harry Campbell, like, for writing this article. Hey Harry, we live in the same area. If you ever want to do something together, you know, we could maybe do like a podcast or something. I don't know, but
I would love that.
Yeah, but he asked a question: has Uber gotten worse? And he had, I'm gonna list off as many things as I can remember, but he listed off, like, you know, earnings, destination filter, bonuses, sign-up bonuses, and passengers.
Okay.
Let's start with the back one first. Have passengers gotten worse over the years?
I don't know. I can't say yes, because I would say they've been about the same. For me, they've been the same. Yeah.
All right. I think they've gotten a little worse. I have noticed that people are a lot less willing to talk to you. They're much more on their phone, and I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like the lower the prices go, the more passengers seem to expect from you. When it was like the minimum was $10 a ride, people would always ask, hey, could you do this? Could you do this? And it was like, oh, sure, most of the time. Now that the minimum ride is $2.40, people are like, hey, do this. I'm paying you.
I think also, too, that people know what to expect.
Yeah. I
think at first they didn't really know what to expect, but it's like you've been in that many Ubers and Lyfts, and you can kind of tell there's certain things that are available, like amenities, like aux cord, this, that, the third. This person took me around the corner. Well, this person didn't charge me for that. You know, you get a lot of that. I think the rider is much better informed, and they're more empowered. You know what I mean?
Yep, and they know that how to complain to Uber to get a free ride.
Oh yeah, they do. They do.
They do. Okay, next thing. Destination filters, which this is kind of almost a current topic because we had for like 5 minutes 6 destination rides, which is, if you're heading towards a direction, you will get rides in theory only towards that destination. I don't know. It's never completely worked for me, but it is helpful for broad trips.
True.
Like from
city to city.
Like from Orange County to LA.
Yeah.
But it went from, you could do it 6 times a day, and they tried it, and because passengers started complaining that they were waiting a little while longer for the rides, they took it back to 2. So that seems like a huge tease to me, because the destination filter is a feature that actually does benefit drivers when it works.
Okay, you guys know I worked in web development before I did all this, and when we, especially with a company like Uber, it would take them a long time for them to actually test a feature and to come up with that sort of resolution. Guess what? It's not working for us. People are upset. That's not true. 5 or 6 weeks is not enough time for you to actually test something and say it's not working. That's what I'm saying, just from my own knowledge. So I don't believe that that's the reason why they took it away. Oh, I think they want you to drive where they want you to drive.
Oh, okay. So you would count that as a demerit then?
Yeah, that's foul. Yes, definitely worse.
Yep. Okay. Now, sign-up bonuses.
Oh my God.
I don't get as many sign-up bonuses. That's probably to be expected. Although
I got $50 the other day.
Yeah, probably doesn't help that I'm making daily videos on how much it sucks doing this. But
definitely get paid more doing videos.
Yeah, I'm making a little bit more doing videos. But it is true that the bonuses used to be a lot higher.
Absolutely.
And they used to have a lot less restrictions. And in fact, I think from another YouTube channel I was watching, someone just revealed recently that for one of the first times they got an email that it was
me.
Yeah,
I got a note saying that someone's referral bonus was going to expired that day, but they were going to extend it for 2 more weeks. And for me to contact that person and gently nudge them to drive, I'm like, excuse me? Yeah. There's expiration dates for this stuff now? This is too much.
Yeah, I mean, there's been expiration dates for Lyft's referral for a long time. And that's also one of the reasons why Lyft has a pay-as-you-go structure.
Yeah, they do.
Because, I mean, that accomplishes 2 things. One, you get something should they not reach the goal. But also, it's a little like incentive because people start making the bonus right away and they don't get discouraged. So,
yeah.
I don't think these bonuses should expire. I mean, I think it's one of the... And I'm still kind of mixed, like, is it better for me, because I don't know how many Lyft referrals I've got where I have not gotten the full amount, but I've gotten something out of it, and how many Uber referrals I've gotten where only a few people have finished, but I got a huge chunk of change right up front.
Right. It's a toss-up. I actually would prefer that to make something based off of what they've done, because you got to do this job to actually to know if you like it or not. And I think it actually takes some like serious time to wrap your head around doing this, learning it, creating a strategy, and actually benefiting from it. That's hard to do in 30 days. You really need to just, especially when you're, let's just say this, if you decide to drive for Uber and Lyft, I'm thinking it's out of necessity. I'm thinking maybe something else is going on in your life. Most of us are not just sitting there independently wealthy saying, you know what, I'm thinking I'm gonna drive for Uber. So you got to deal with life on top of learning something new.
Yeah, unless you're the guy who used to own the Denver Broncos.
Is that something you did?
One of the football team owners, he drives Uber now just to get out of the house.
Well, I know tons of people who do it just for fun. And I've dropped people off who live on the beach who are like, I do it to meet people. Now, those people exist, but most people are doing it to supplement their income. And I think that it's very hard to thrust them in a situation, do all this stuff, learn everything, make all this stuff in 30 days is a stretch. It really is like boot camp, I think. And for them to put an expiration on all that, I really think hurts, because I think around that 30th day is when you actually decide if this is something you can do or can't do. And it really shouldn't expire. Right.
Okay. All right.
But even to add real quick, when I started, I got 75 rides for $500, and I knocked those out in like 3-4 days. I talked to a girl here in LA who just signed up, 75 rides, guaranteeing that she makes with a $450 guarantee.
Yeah.
This is just a year and a half. It's crazy. And when I explained it to her, I was like, you know what? If there's somebody else that has a better deal, go with it. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother.
Right.
And I was like, and if you must, I was like, we can do it, and we'll split the money that I get, but I'd rather not. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's crazy. They're putting people in a position where you're going to be pretty much splitting what you get with that person, because it should be fair. It should be mutually beneficial. Mutually beneficial,
right. Okay, and now let's talk about the bonuses. Now, this is kind of an interesting one, because in this area, I think Uber and Lyft, in some ways, have gotten better, but for nefarious purposes. They do offer more quest bonuses.
Yeah.
They do offer more boosts. Now, like the boosts, like, and the power zones. It's a guaranteed surge, basically.
Yeah.
But why are they doing it? Well, they're doing it because they want people on the road in those areas to prevent surge from popping up if possible, and having the passengers paid. Now, of course, I have gone on videos that this is not sustainable for either Uber or Lyft. They can't, I know that they want to keep the prices low for the customers, but they can't subsidize these rides forever. But the bottom line is they're doing these to, I think the surge would basically be better if we got the surge than these guaranteed boosts and stuff, but some people do like being guaranteed that extra money.
Right.
So, is that better or worse?
I think it's worse.
Yeah.
I prefer to get my surge pay, personally.
Yeah. I prefer to get my surge myself too, although I have to admit, in pinches, it's nice to
guarantee.
The guarantee is nice. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It is nicer. Now let's see here. So we did passengers, destination. Now, of course, the one that I'm gonna save the last 5 minutes of this video for.
Okay.
The rates.
Okay. Rates are worse.
Guys, you've seen me make like probably at least 200 videos on this topic. Of course, the rates are worse. And I mean, I have to admit, a comment that I get really tired of hearing is, well, you don't like it, just quit. Just take a get a real job. It's like, guys, it is a real job.
It is a job.
Everything. And I am going to make a video separate about entrepreneurship in general, because I think entrepreneurs are actually getting hit in very hard ways, whether it be Uber, Lyft, Amazon, eBay, Barnes & Noble, Market Seller Place, TaskRabbit. It's really frustrating to see the entrepreneurs get screwed the way they are, and maybe this is why it's going to eventually become a hot topic in one of the elections, because, yeah, as independent contractors, you are not guaranteed certain things, and so Uber used it to their advantage, and they went from paying us what I consider to be very reasonable to something that was not so reasonable, and they've pretty much been exploiting it ever since. And it's also very interesting because, again, and this is why I definitely take, activists with a grain of salt, how many people claim, oh, we need to pay people better. I've never seen an actual activist or a Democrat or a Republican or a politician fight for the Uber and Lyft and the DoorDash and the Postmates drivers. And of course, the reason is pretty obvious, because if you fight for them to pay more, you yourself will be paying more. No one themselves wants to actually pay more. So the rates have obviously gotten worse, and I don't know how many times I hear people get in the car and they tell me, I love Uber and Lyft. It's so cheap. And I always kind of give them a heads up, enjoy it while you can. It can't last.
Yeah.
So that one's kind of like the obvious. Of course it's worse. And it does not need to be this way.
It doesn't have to be.
It's like they could easily charge $1 more per mile, still be way cheaper than the taxi industry, and we'd be making twice as much. And the analogy has been brought up, how would you like it if you went to work one day and you found out you were doing the same job, if not more, for 70% less of the pay?
And no, how about you get to your job and before you can walk in, your boss renegotiates your contract, makes you sign it before you can cross it over the threshold.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You get into work, it's like, oh, we need you to sign this before you go to work.
Exactly.
To work, we're not going to let you clock on.
Pretty
and you
much.
sign. And you sign it because you need to make money.
You need to make money.
And then you get your paycheck like, hey, wait a minute, why is my pay so low? It's like, oh, well, you signed and agreed to let us.
Pretty much. That is insanity. That is insanity. You can't treat a workforce of people like they are replaceable. You can't.
Right. I mean, and the thing is, this retention problem is one of the reasons why Uber has lost so much money, because they always have to pay new bonuses to new drivers. Yeah. So again, and that kind of goes back to the bonus situation. Like, well, yeah, they're paying the bonuses, and the bonuses are nice. They're doing it because they can't keep the drivers and they want to keep the fares low. So here's what, and I don't understand, this is Silicon Valley in general. Silicon Valley has this mentality, you have to monopolize. Then you're successful. That's why Amazon has been running for 20 plus damn years and has never made a cent. And that's considered a success. That sounds like the ultimate failure to me.
Yeah.
Uber and Lyft, the only way they're going to survive is to make a sustainable business plan where we're paid decent amount of monies and don't want to quit all the time, and people are paying a fare that is not egregious.
Yep.
So, anyway, we've got like 4 minutes left. Is there anything about ride sharing that's gotten worse or better for you over the years that you want to comment on? Aside from Calendar getting fired, because that was definitely a good little perk.
I really feel like I like the idea of it, and I do feel like these companies have exploited the idea and the desire for us all to own our own businesses. I think it's a very attractive idea for most of us, and this is the first step for a lot of people to actually fill that out, or to help build another dream and support another dream, or that sort of thing. And I think that it is sad that it doesn't turn out to be very true for a lot of people. We're creative people. We found a way to make this work for us. It may not work that way for you. And that's the unfortunate part about it, because if you watch the commercials and things like that, they make it seem like this job is easy and you make a decent amount of money. It takes a lot of work and strategy to actually pull off, I think, a decent wage and a profit from doing this type of work. And that's one of the reasons why I know I make videos, is because I'm trying to help you. Right. And the same for you. It's like we're trying to provide the information really that you need to kind of survive and be able to do this, so it works. The problem is that it doesn't automatically work for everyone out the box. It just doesn't. And I'm just curious on how long this is going to last. How long these companies are going to get away with it.
Yep. I don't know. So anyway, we've only got 2 minutes left of filming. Quick question. Was it easier to recommend people drive for Uber 2 years ago than it is now? Yes or no?
Hells yeah.
Okay. I would say yes too. So anyway, that's where we're going to end it. Thank you for unexpectedly being my passenger today so we could talk about this.
No problem.
You know, if you want to subscribe...
I'm not on the clock right now. Do I have to pay for this time, do I? What is it like?
we all need to make money, but anyway, for all of you folks out there, you can subscribe to our channel, the link below. You can subscribe to me. You can like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy the other videos I make, consider becoming a Patreon member for as little as $1 a month. $5 will get you access to exclusive videos not seen to anyone else. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.
Bye.